Here in Greene County, we are bringing the American Veterans Traveling Tribute to our community October 10th through 14th, 2012. We have a diverse group of people from all over the community, veterans groups, law enforcement, fire, military units, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, all coming together in the sense of community and honoring veterans. The American Veterans Traveling Tribute, where we're at today, we've scheduled it, we've paid the deposit. It's definitely coming here October 10th through 14th. It will arrive on Wednesday evening. We'll set it up on Thursday, and it will be open for display through Sunday afternoon. The location will be the Greene County Fairgrounds. The Greene County Fair Board is donating this space and all the support they can with the stage and the benches and things like that. And we've also, they've okayed us moving some of the special events during the 4 days indoors if we get bad weather, like some of the ceremonies, the guest speakers, and those kind of things. So they've been tremendously supportive. And the largest sponsor, thank you, is Marshall Foyles and Buckman's D&D Harley Davidson, who has graciously agreed to pay our bills. So we are now officially the Greene County AVTT Endowment. And the nice thing about that, my wife Susan, Lance is the secretary, I'm the chair, and my wife had agreed to be the treasurer. And the endowment actually takes care of paying the bills. So when a sponsor donates funds, it actually goes to Green Giving, and then Susan's just going to manage the bills coming in and take them up there, and the folks at Green Giving will actually pay the bills. We're covered by insurance. We're a 501(c)(3).
The Ohio Civil War enactors are interested in being part of this.
My team leader used to be the first sergeant for the 1st 317th out of Columbus, Army National Guard. He's arranged for Blackhawks to do a flyover. They are deploying to Afghanistan.
Every time I turn around, somebody's got new ideas and new energy for this. You all have name tags on over there.
That's Karen?
Kathy.
Kathy, that's close. Kathy Young, Lisa Willis from the Greene County Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Outstanding.
You could get it.
I'm telling you, it's been a long day.
So I suppose you might be able to help us with marketing.
We can. We have a website, and
Awesome.
We have a calendar of events that is updated daily. So anybody looking for information, calling for information, can either go to our website with that information with a link to all of your information.
Outstanding.
You know, in addition, we're partners with the museum and lots of folks in town, and we're a conduit to all the hotels.
Speaking of marketing and public relations and stuff, that's part of what Pete's doing also. Pete runs our website and Facebook site for the Ohio Patriot Guard. And so we've got that link there, and we've got our website for the Veterans Service Office, and we're going to make a Facebook site specifically for this event, the Greene County Veterans Traveling Tribute. And everything from handbill flyers. I'm actually working on designing a handbill flyer that I'll send to all of you that you can print and hand out as you want. If you're just talking to somebody in conversation and want to tell them about it, I'm trying to work out the details that I can put on it from Wednesday night through Sunday. And within 6 months of it, I'd like to start handing those out and start getting some news. There are posters. Some of the stuff we have to print ourselves, though there will be a program, a small book, which Buckman's gets the entire back page as the primary sponsor. And we've got a couple other sponsors. WGC Golf Course has agreed to provide golf carts to help veterans who don't move too well get from the parking area to the memorial site. Steve and I went to see the Fair Board, and they said if we want to put mulch down for a walking path in front of the wall and all that kind of stuff, none of that was a problem. They were just like, whatever you guys need, do it. And so we really don't have anything holding us back to make this an outstanding event. On Wednesday, the convoy with the equipment on it arrives about 3 p.m. And we don't know where we're going to stage it yet, but it'll be someplace probably 10 miles out of town, depending on what direction they're coming from their previous event. So it might be in Jamestown, it might be in Springfield, it might be in Dayton, because the idea is the first big event of all this that we publicize and market is the arrival convoy. They're going to coordinate through Patriot Guard. Patriot Guard will be kind of the lead and organizer because there will be a lot of other people who will come out. Doug Cope's going to coordinate fire folks. Sheriff Fisher's going to coordinate traffic control with all the other law enforcement agencies. but it'll be just an awesome convoy, and I hope to see, as they did in Sydney, the streets lined with people watching this thing come in. And then when we arrive at the fairgrounds, we'll be set up to do a brief welcome ceremony that night with just a couple of words. And I've got 2 chaplains lined up, both Vietnam veterans. One's the chaplain, pastor of our church at Byron Church, West Barnhill, and the other one is John Corcoran. He's chaplain for Xenia Township Fire Department and retired master sergeant, and he has a church he's pastor of down in Miami. And both of them have agreed to do chaplain services throughout this weekend. Bob King at the fairgrounds is going to help us get out the, he says as long as there's help, we can get out picnic tables, we can get out benches to sit on, we can get the rolling stage out and power it up and all that kind of stuff. And Doug Cope's got access to a sound system. So we'll be ready to do a couple of brief speeches and ceremony on Wednesday night for the arrival. And by the time we get in here and get it all set up, it'll be dark and it'll be time to call it a night until next day. On Thursday at 7 a.m., we need all possible, and this will be October 11th, we need volunteers to help set it up, which is involves some driving some stakes, carrying the panels, setting up various panels. The Vietnam Memorial Wall is an 80% size replica. It's 300 or some feet long itself. And there are also smaller memorials to World War II, Korea, Vietnam, police and fire, and some historical things. The other thing we'll have to set up that day are some tents, which before then we'll actually have to reserve and rent. And the fairgrounds has all those connections for us. And we also have Jim Reed, he'll help us take care of the permits at the township to get the zoning permits for the tents. But the tents are to shelter some of the things that get set up. Another thing gets set up, they have a computer, which we need volunteers to rotate on the computer for looking people up on the wall. So if a person comes up and says, I lost a friend, his name is John Doe, they can look up and tell them what panel and what line to find that name on. There'll also be volunteers to just help people around, direct them, answer questions, point them to the restrooms. Restroom facilities up in the barns will be available, but I believe we're also going to put a bank of porta-johns in closer by there where people can get to. But if we have a handicapped person or somewhere in a wheelchair, it's paved all the way up to the Livestock 2 building that they can get up there to a handicap restroom if they need it. We also have a huge flagpole there in which the Fair Board said we can put, not only we can raise and lower the American flag for ceremonies there, but there's 4 outer poles we can put the 4 primary service flags on for that weekend, versus whatever they usually fly on. And on below the U.S. flag, we're going to put the POW-MIA flag. And so that's Thursday. By noon, they should be open, is what they anticipate. Try to have some of the veterans groups do some of these morning reveilles and flag raising and the opening ceremonies, because some of the veterans posts, I know your American Legion post in Fairborn has an honor guard. So, on that day, if we can find some through Patriot Guard, Pete, there is a lane of wreaths for POW-MIA and Gold Star Mothers. And I know there's a Gold Star Mothers group that Bob's got connections to down in Cincinnati area. If for those of you who aren't familiar with that, Blue Star families are those who have military members serving. Gold Star are those who had a family member killed in war. And we got too many of those, unfortunately, around here. And I know we have some connections through Patriot Guard to that group in the Cincinnati area. So if possible, I'm going to invite them to lay that wreath on behalf of them. And that's what I was going to throw out here. Any of you who are church members locally, it'd be great to have a combined choir, and the choir directors can arm wrestle for who's in charge, and have a choir event for 45 minutes to an hour of patriotic songs and Christian songs relating to military service that evening. So if your church choirs want to participate, get back with us. I'll add you all to our email group, and at our next meeting, then we'll be able to give her, maybe get the directors' names and phone numbers, and knowing how these choirs work, it won't take much for them to maybe rehearse once or twice before the event. And then that would be the kind of the people draw for the first evening, as we'd advertise that there will be music that night, and that'll be the first evening we're open as people get off work. It will be, Doug is working on lighting. We've got power out there, but it'll be lit. It's actually lit and open 24 hours a day. On Friday, they start off with a reveille and an open exhibit again, and it's open all day, and they recommend school children attend. And so part of our marketing and is getting this out to the schools, and I don't know if any of you still have kids in school or have a direct connection to the school board or school boards in the county, but there are 5 or 6 at least. There's a quiz, like a little exercise to do with the school kids.
Cool.
Simple things like, you know, how many veterans were killed in Vietnam and how many stars on the flag, and so it was a learning experience for them. They recommend a good time for Law Enforcement and Firefighters Day to do midday, laying of the wreaths in tribute of September 11th. Friday is a business day, it's a work day, so our idea so far has been to push off a large memorial event with keynote speakers and music and all that kind of stuff to Saturday morning. We thought we'd get the best attendance, especially if people haven't got out there yet on Thursday evening or Friday evening. They should hopefully get out there on Saturday morning, and there'll be stuff going on all day. The one thing, however, we do have on Friday night to draw people in is just in time. Those of you who've been in the Xenia area for a long time, or as old as I am or older, remember Daryl Lawrence and the Just in Time Band, and they've agreed to do a free concert. And as you've got, I know I've got a playlist of half a dozen songs I like to hear them do, which are all kind of country rock, veterans oriented. Some are new, some are older. If you've got song ideas, the whole idea for this group is this is kind of the Vietnam veteran era music of the 60s and 70s rock. And
Daryl's got a brother on the wall.
that's what we found out through Steve. 0900 Saturday is when we were going to have the large ceremony with color guards, music, keynote speaker.
How much they ask for me to volunteer my services and sing God Bless the USA?
No, you want to
I've
do
been
that?
doing it for 20 years, so I think I can do this.
Do you want to audition now?
No.
How many want to hear Lance?
You must. I'll bring a CD next meeting and I'll play it.
I'm putting that down. Lance will sing God Bless the USA.
I've been doing it for years.
First of all, for the morning ceremony is military color guards. Mark Lyle, Master Sergeant Mark Lyle is in charge of the Air Force color guard, and what I've asked him to do is contact, coordinate, try to get a color guard there that morning from all the military services and do a joint march in with all the color guards. And they too can arm wrestle over who actually posts the colors on the stage and who just carries theirs out. And along with that, I think it'd be great that if our veterans color guards who are posting the colors Thursday morning and Friday morning can be there with them. And we'll have a parade of color guards from back somewhere, come all the way up the stage, post the colors, do the Pledge of Allegiance and the National Anthem as the opening ceremony. The Doolittle Raiders Final Reunion is going to be here.
Yes,
right
and
now.
there's a host of activities that are already scheduled.
I'm going to, when I put you on the email list, will you email me some of that stuff back? Because we want to put that out through Patriot Guard and through
Sure.
Veterans Service.
Sure.
That's awesome.
We're excited.
We found out there was, who else is having a reunion or an event here the same weekend?
I actually have to,
There's somebody else is going to be here. in the week of
Tom
October.
Sanute.
Yeah.
Tom Sanute.
Tom Sanute group.
Tom Sanute Air Base.
The
reunion.
3,500th pilot training class,
Yeah.
and I've got
That's what it was.
another group they're already scheduled to come to your event. I just am going to offer them details after
Sure.
I found some out.
Who's that?
Let's see.
That's perfect. Then.
Tom Sanute, the 3,500 pilot training class from Reese, and then I've got a Navy group, the VFA 13 Navy Squadron. They're an alumni group that are based out of this area. And then I have another group pending. I think it's the 463rd Fighter.
So they've got things going on here the same weekend, and they're going to come to our event.
Yes, they are.
Awesome.
463rd Bomb Group.
This would be the big veterans recognition ceremony, like I said, and this would be when we have the flyover. Somewhere we got to time it with the speakers and the music and the singers and everybody else. Approximately 1,000 hours on Saturday the flyover is. And we've got those people there on Saturday morning. We want to introduce them and recognize them. From any veterans that are there of note, especially Tuskegee Airmen or POWs or anybody like that. That'd be awesome. We need to get a list of those.
Yeah.
If you guys know of these, I'll let you send them to Lance. When I send out the email, you'll see his and let him start compiling a list, and we want to make sure they get a personal invitation, and we'll try to get them on the stage and recognize them individually. I'm sure sometime during this event, we're going to ask veterans from all different wars to stand up and be recognized, but that'd be great if we've got those kind of extra special people there in the audience. And this is also where I was thinking of the bagpipes, special music. When they do the pipes and drums, and then they close the service with Amazing Grace, and the one single piper goes walking off into the distance. Bring your Kleenex. And that's kind of how I'd like to end the ceremony with that. Security. I mentioned to the sheriff, and I'm a special deputy. We got numerous special deputies. Many of them are volunteers. We're going to need at least a cruiser at night, and maybe we should have, just in case, just kind of just like the fair, have a presence of at least one deputy out there. And I think the boss said we can use a car. I think I just put him on the spot, but
well, I want to put the command post out there.
Oh,
just leave it out there.
That's easy. And Kirk, I was going to ask you to coordinate talking between Charlie Barrett. He's also offered to help. He was going to be here today. I don't know what happened, but talk to the specials. And along with that, I've got one of the kids I served with in Iraq is in the security police at the Air Guard in Springfield. He's offered to help, and he thinks there'll be some members from over there. And my old guys at the reserve unit, I've asked the new first sergeant to see if any of them are interested in helping those that live locally and just providing a security presence. And you know, with the National Guard, the reserve units, the local folks, the more uniforms that are out there, the better. Because, you know, especially older veterans love to talk to new people, young people in uniform. My son gets a kick out of that. He's in the Army, and when he has an old veteran come up and thank you for serving, and this guy's wearing a World War II hat, it just chokes him up. So.
Parking. I talked to Lester Davis, the old timers, and they're in. They said, just let them know how many shuttles they need. They'll run them. They want to know how many and when.
They're going to bring their tractor and their trailer.
Well, the shuttles, yeah, they're out there.
Sweet.
So they'll run shuttles for parking, and if we want to set something up at their event in September to get the word out, we're welcome to do that.
Reach out if you've got a ladies auxiliary or somebody that wants to do something like that. The fairgrounds said we can use the kitchen. They can't fry in there though, but we can use the dining hall. If we've got the church groups.
I do think you need drinks and coffee of some sort.
Yeah.
Some sort of refreshment.
Yeah.
Just for somebody that's out there, they get thirsty.
Water.
I don't know if it's gonna be hot or cold or.
Tim, do you want the Xenia Area Association of Churches and those groups involved in this?
Anybody that wants to be involved.
I mean, it's,
sure.
They might be able to get words out to the different churches, particularly on the choirs and any other thing that you might think.
There's a lot of places for volunteers to serve. Anything from the setup to the tear down to standing by to guide people around it to assisting with parking and all kinds of things. We welcome your assistance, whether you want to donate, you want to volunteer your time, you want to work behind the scenes or spend some time working at the site in October. Please contact us, check the Greene County Veterans Office website or the Patriot Guard Riders Facebook site, and you'll be able to get contacts for us and see how you can help us honor veterans here in Greene County and in Xenia, Ohio. So thank you very much for your support, and God bless America.